At last, Brazils are back. Let's enjoy Brazil Fazenda Cachoeira da Grama Canario Natural.
My name is Steve Layton, and I travel the world finding amazing and delicious coffee for you to drink at home. Some make coffee difficult to understand and complicated, but here it's my job to make it easy and fun and tell you what's in my mug.
So this farm sparked a huge change in the way that I thought about coffee. And I've told you this story a few times if you've been watching, but you're going to have to hang on me again because I can remember the first time I cooked it. I remember where I stood, what I thought, what I was thinking, and it really kind of opened my mind to what great coffee can be. Gabriel Carvalho Diaz, has continued since then to make some of the best coffees year on year for me. And we're really lucky that we have access to that crop. And we have access as a European exclusive for single origin from this farm. So you may see some others out there with blends and things of it in, but we are the only people in Europe that bring in that single origin. And this is due to the special relationship we enjoy with Gabriel and his parent company that he's a part of, which is the Bourbon Group. Fazenda Cachoeira da Grama has been in the Carvalho Diaz family since 1890. And he's just in Sao Paulo state, just 3 miles from the border with Minas Gerais. It has a fantastic mountainous Magania, I can never pronounce it, Magania, in the Sul de Minas region, and has a fairly low altitude, but actually fairly good for Brazil, of 1,100 to 1,250 metres above sea level. Gabriel is one of Brazil's leading agronomists. His family owns several farms and they actually border each other in that area. Fazenda Cachoeira has a total area, wait for this, 417 hectares, which is massive. And it has coffee planted on 165 hectares, which again is really, really big. Everything is done manually on the farm since the topography of it doesn't really allow for mechanical picking and such. And the mill is located very close to the spa town of Poços de Caldas. When I say very close, it's about 45 minutes away, but in Brazil, that's next door. The Carvalho Diaz family are really, really high on sustainability, environment issues. It's very important to them. And the farm has a program of planting not just coffee, but native species of trees to maintain a better ecological balance. They also have a school, a club, a full-size football pitch for the employees. And there are 47 houses within the farm, all with very modern facilities. Wastewater is treated to avoid polluting the stream. They have electricity. And that electricity comes from a hydroelectric plant, which is from the waterfall, which is Cachoeira in Portuguese. A lot of history there. Some of the trees of original Bourbon plants that were planted like 110 years ago. And they've also built an eco-lodge for mountain bikers and people to go on holiday who want to go hiking around the farm. And if you haven't booked your summer holiday yet, I know where you should go. Okay, so we're going to cup the Bourbon from Cachoeira, which is also a natural, against a Canario, which is also a natural, and try and look for differentiations in them. And same processing, same farm, slightly different coffee. As we've said, Canario is a mutation of Bourbon. So let's go into the Bourbon first of all. And so here I'm getting like milk chocolate, a lot of nut. It's very smooth. It actually doesn't taste so natural. It's actually a little bit more wash stroke pulp natural. But very creamy, very quaffable, very drinkable. And then into the Canario. And here you notice a little bit of a difference. There's a little bit of yellow plum going on in there. It's a little bit more acidity, but it's still got that like chocolate, walnut, a little bit more natural-esque if I'm going to be compared to the Cachoeira Bourbon. And it has a real like raisin finish to it. Two very similar coffees, but very different in many ways. So this week I'm going to talk a little bit about Canario. Canario originates as a natural mutation of Bourbon, very similar in many ways to things like Pacas and Mundanovu. The plant is a yellow plant, and its parent is the yellow Bourbon plant. And yellow produces much more than the red Bourbon, but this is even more than its yellow parent, if you like. There are some downsides to it. It's a little bit more susceptible to pest and disease. It's a little bit more spindly in its appearance, so wind can really damage it, it really is quite exposed to that. And this has to be taken into account when a producer is deciding if they can plant Canario, because if they're on the side of somewhere that does get a lot of wind, it's going to lose most of its cherries. Bourbon has very close links to SL28, Typica, Cachoeira, and like in Bourbon, in the right area can produce a really, really high quality cup. There is evidence that a lower yield, the higher the quality, as the plant uses its energy more efficiently. But actually in this one it produces more, and is actually, for me, has a better cup profile. Typical cup characteristics are bright acidity than Bourbon, very balanced, typically a sweet profile that tends to lend itself well to espresso, particularly those who like a little bit more character in their cup. So for me, it's like Bourbon, but just with that little bit more depth. Okay, so we're going to dive into this tasting with a beautiful Chemex of this coffee in my fantastic Sunderland mug. I can't remember who gave me this one, but one of you kind people that watched this gave me this many years ago, and I still enjoy drinking out of it now. It's even got Leighton #1 on it, which is sweet. So, I may have alluded to this already, but Cachoeira is one of my quaffing coffees. This is my Saturday morning, don't have to think about anything coffee. Don't have to assess it. Don't have to think about the acidity. In fact, I'm really having to think about it to come up with the tasting notes, because it's just delicious. But you get a little bit of dark chocolate in there. You get lots and lots of walnut. Now, the acidity in this is a little bit more raised, so you're getting like a little bit of a yellow plum. But what's most distinct about this compared to the Bourbon Natural from Cachoeira da Grama is that you get this raisin finish. You get like a real kind of fruitiness to it, which it just lingers in the aftertaste. It's just an amazing special coffee that I love very dearly. And if you send me to a desert island, I want to take this with me. Listen, thank you for watching. Do come back next week. But in the meantime, I wish you to remember, life is too short for bad coffee. Okay, let's wait for it to roll up a little bit.